Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Cape Expectations. What we've got on the show today, Gav?
Loads, absolutely loads. We've got David S. Goyer's been talking about the ending of Man of Steel and the essential elements going into Batman vs Superman, or whatever it's going to be called. Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman picking their favourite between Batman and Superman. That is an awesome interview.
Yeah.
All Night Editor Matt Rizzi spoke to them earlier in the week. And we're giving away the Dark Knight Rises Ultimate box set thing.
Holy.
It's huge.
Nice.
It's really, really cool.
Awesome.
But we're giving away that, so stick around to the end of the show and find out how. Yeah, but first of all...
So David S. Goyer's been in the news this week. He was giving a talk at the BFI and he was...
Dave have to say?
Well, he was asked about the controversial ending to Man of Steel, spoiler alert, in which Superman kills Zod. And Goyer was defending Superman's right to kill.
Well, people sort of went mad about it, didn't they? Because
yeah.
People saying the Superman doesn't kill.
Yeah, that's right.
Incorrectly saying the Superman
yes,
doesn't kill.
I mean,
that's
yeah.
another big thing that the fans were saying, like, Superman can't kill anyone. But I actually thought it fitted in well. Like, I had a lot of problems with Man of Steel, but it fitted in with that Man of Steel, the way, the reimagining of Superman by Zack Snyder, I thought. Like, I had absolutely no problem with him doing it. The only problem I had was that Michael Shannon's so good as Zod. Yeah. And now he's gone.
He was amazing. And we've got a series of Man of Steel videos on our YouTube site. And there's a great one where they're talking about potential sequels. Yeah. And Shannon tells us how he could possibly come back, which is fairly hilarious. So find that.
He was awesome, considering he's so terrifying in everything.
Yeah.
He was really, really good.
He's so good.
Funny guy.
But yeah, I mean, Superman does kill. We've seen it in the comics. We've seen it in the movies, arguably, in Superman 2, because Zod doesn't have a very nice end in that film either.
No one moaned about that, although I guess there was no internet or anything like that. So.
Yeah, exactly. People probably did moan about it, but, it was... in their basements. So we asked our social followers what they thought of the ending and how they would have changed it if indeed they did want it changed. And we got some great responses. On Google+, John Percepto, Percepto by name, Percepto by nature, said...
Real name?
That's his real name.
Good name, John.
I thought the ending was very well done. In the comics, there was always a cat and mouse game with Clark keeping a secret from Lois. Over the years, that's been quite tiresome. He's right. In Man of Steel, she knows who he is, and this opens up their relationship to new possibilities, which is very true, isn't it? Because one thing that people didn't have a problem with about the end of Man of Steel was that Daily Planet sequence right at the end.
I was awful. So cheesy.
Yeah. No, incorrect. It was amazing. But yeah, what have you got?
Some nasty ones, man. So we've got Charlie on Twitter saying, with an ending that doesn't think death equals justice and written by someone who actually gets Superman.
Right, well...
Damn, Charlie, that's cold.
That's a burn. That's a burn for Mr. S. Goyer.
Dougie Partridge says that he would end it and not overdo the smashings into buildings and cheesy one-liners. I don't think there was any cheesy one-liners in Man of Steel.
No.
For all its problems,
For all its problems.
I didn't think
Yeah, I mean, is he talking about the welcome to the planet bit at the end? I mean, that's literally the only one-liner I can think of, but...
actually, that is quite cheesy, isn't it?
No, it's not. It was awesome.
A lot of people saying that they would have rather to have some kind of like post-credit sequence where, like someone said, I think I saw someone say that they wanted to see like Batman watching the Zod footage or something like that to sort of set it up.
I mean, there was a viral image that went around after Man of Steel. Really, really nice shot of... Batman in the Batcave in front of rows and rows of computers with the "You Are Not Alone" stuff on it, and that just made me so excited for Batman versus Superman.
That wasn't real, right?
No, but it looked so good. It looked like concept art. So
that's quite exciting to see.
I mean,
but then I guess at the time, they did. I mean, they probably obviously they did know that that's where they were going with it, but. At the time, it wasn't announced or anything.
No, exactly. So. But interestingly, S. Goyer also said this week that they're a lot further along with the script than,
I saw that actually,
or even production. Yeah, they're a lot further along than people realise. Yeah. So that's very interesting.
Well, I think I sort of got that from the Ben Affleck on not Jimmy Kimmel. Who's the other one? The American guy.
Was it Fallon?
Yes, that's it. On that, and he sort of addressed all the backlash against him and stuff like that. But he also said, people will get him as Batman when they see the story and stuff. So I guess from that I took that they were quite far down the line with it. And
Interesting.
They're already, they know where they're going with it. And even though the script isn't finished, it sounds like they've got it pretty much planned out.
Speaking of the script, I've just remembered something that we haven't discussed with our social audience.
What's that?
But I'm sure they'll have an opinion on it, so please comment on YouTube below or send us a tweet, hashtag Cape Expectations. Bieber.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Justin Bieber posted a picture of himself on Instagram holding up what appears to be a Batman versus Superman script.
Well, the script isn't finished, so...
Yeah, well, we don't know about that, but there's no way it's real.
That was weird.
It was super weird, though. What was really weird about it was that people didn't seem as angry about that as they did when Ben Affleck was confirmed, but I guess it's because it's not official.
Yeah.
But if that was official, yeah.
Can you imagine him playing Robin or something like that?
It's not going to happen. No. I mean, my theory on it is he has done some stuff with Funny or Die recently.
Yeah. Well, he's just done the
Between Two Ferns,
which I thought he was quite good in.
Yeah, it was okay. It's pretty funny, but those things are amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's probably some sort of skit they're doing, like riffing on the fact that if the internet exploded about Ben Affleck, then imagine how they'd react. Yeah. But we shall see.
It can't be real.
No, it can't be real.
They wouldn't do that.
They'd upset us too much. We would cancel the show. So if anyone out there's listening, no show if you put Bieber in your movie. Just, so you know.
So the other big news is going to be a Gotham TV show, which sort of centers around like a sort of prequel-y thing with Gordon. That sounds quite cool.
It sounds very cool. It's interesting that DC announced this the week that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. aired in the States and in the UK. They sound like similar sort of shows where they're focusing on the real people. But and apparently Batman's not going to be in it at all, which is interesting.
Gotham Central, like the comic, which is amazing. If you haven't read it, go seek it out. It's called Gotham Central.
It's so good.
It's like The Wire.
It is like The Wire. I mean, with Gotham Central, you do have fleeting appearances by Batman. He does turn up, and actually there's quite a nice dynamic where the police force are kind of annoyed that Batman sort of take their glory, so that element isn't going to be in it.
But then they say Batman's not going to be in it.
Yeah.
But he's going to be in it.
I mean, one of our social followers, I believe on Facebook, here we go, Jordan McCabe, thanks very much for your contribution. It is awesome. He said that he hopes that in Gotham we see Gordon chatting with the Wayne family and little Bruce is there. Wow. John Percepto, again from Google+, he says that he has no preconceived notion except that I find it hard to accept that some of Batman's arch rivals without having a hero to defend Gotham City. So, he's essentially saying what we're saying.
The bad guys, when they say bad guys, it's not going to be any of the huge guys, and it's not going to be, any super villains. It's going to be...
Well, they say Batman's villains, so, I mean, I can't even think of any... Maybe, the Penguin? I don't know, dude. I'm actually starting to go off this idea. Because the thing about Batman is, with his villains, there's always that element of, were they inspired by Batman to be more extreme themselves?
Okay, right.
They become super villains because they're inspired by this weirdo running around in a cape and cowl. So... it is odd, but hey, we'll wait until we see a trailer.
Well, it's that time of the week. We've got the Luthor League.
Oh, good old Luthor League.
All change.
Really, new entries
except
all the way
Bryan
through.
Cranston, he's staying.
He's still the top.
So here we go. So we got Bryan Cranston still at the top, but who's dropped out? Mads Mikkelsen has dropped out, and so has Idris Elba has dropped out as well.
But that's mainly because we've had some very strong new entries. But first we should talk about Matthew McConaughey, who's gone from 5 to 3.
Why is that?
And that's because our users pointed out that he actually has been bald in a film.
In Reign of Fire.
In Reign of Fire.
Which we missed out.
Corduroy Xavier said on YouTube, "Whoa boys, Reign of Fire 2002, bald Matthew McConaughey, bonus points, co-stars with Batman, Christian Bale."
So,
how did we miss that?
I don't know.
So he's at number 3,
I
basically.
feel like we've let you down.
Which we're sorry. That's all we can say. We're sorry.
Into 4 is Woody Harrelson. I like that. That's
Yeah,
really
no,
good.
that's great.
I
Now,
just watched Now You See Me the other day. He's the best thing in that. It's a terrible film, but he's really, really good.
yeah, and he's done Evil before several times.
Yeah, he's been bald.
He's been bald. He still is bald. He's always bald. He's just
yeah.
bald, basically.
That's really good. How do we miss Woody Harrelson?
I've no idea.
Should be top of the ball list.
Yeah.
Zachary Quinto as well, which I thought was a really, really good one.
Yeah, definitely.
He's like the first. I think the first time I saw him in anything was in Heroes. And
comic book TV series.
and he was evil as hell.
Yeah, he's terrifying in that
He's
show.
really, really, really terrifying.
And he's really good in American Horror Story and obviously the Star Trek movies. So yeah, whack his hair off and he's good to go.
Yeah. What do we have? So we got some other cool ones as well. Dean Norris still down there. He's not moving anywhere.
He has moved actually. He's above Idris Elba, Mads, and a new entry.
That was only because I couldn't be asked to wipe them off.
He's right.
I've got Gustav Lauridsen over on YouTube saying Terry O'Quinn. That's Locke from Lost, right?
Yeah.
And that's literally just because he's bald.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Or Ray Fiennes.
Yeah. He's done Evil before. He's been bald before. Obviously, Voldemort is bald, isn't he? And Liam Rafferty says, how about Albert Brooks for Lex Luthor? He was terrifying in Drive.
It was really, really scary.
Yeah, I mean, he totally played against type in Drive. And, he's got that sort of menace and the twinkle in his eye. Yeah. I reckon he could definitely do it, but not quite enough to put him into the top.
He's not in the top.
He's not in the top 5.
Board.
Yeah.
For some reason, he's underneath Dean Norris, but again, that's because I couldn't be asked to put him off. But yeah, that's a pretty good looking board still. Danny Day-Lewis, Timothy Olyphant, Tom Hardy, Gerard Butler, Benedict Cumberbatch, Bruce Campbell, still on there. But yeah, that's your Luthor League right now, updated.
Yeah.
So you can go to Coral or William Hill, chuck some bets on. Bryan Cranston's still at the top.
The question is, Gav, is there anyone on there that leaps out at you? Because you said last time that they're still not on there. So
I mean, Woody Harrelson is good, but he's a bit cartoony.
Yeah.
It's not going to be him. It's going to be Bryan Cranston, man.
So, well, we don't know, and we still need your help. So, if there's anyone on there that we're missing, any other famous baldies,
it just feels like we've missed someone.
Yeah, and we really want him on there.
Really annoying.
Yeah,
feeling.
So, unless they announce it in the next 2 weeks, keep sending us your suggestions, and who knows, maybe you'll get it right.
So the other thing that we asked you guys for was what are the essential elements of Batman vs Superman? It's quite a it's quite a vague thing. It's been quite a, there hasn't been too much news, and this is the kind of stuff we really want to do in this show, like come up with ideas and things, and talk about storylines, what storylines you want to see, and instead of that, people have just been mean. So what are the essential elements of Batman vs Superman? Joe Cunningham on Twitter, straight in. A new screenwriter. Yeah,
I mean, because obviously the writer of Batman Begins isn't quite good enough.
Yeah. A new screenwriter according to Joe Cunningham. Facebook, Sebastian Balisson says, it has to include a good fight scene between Batman and Superman that people will remember. It also needs to have a jaw-dropping ending like The Dark Knight Rises did.
That's nice.
Jaw-dropping ending?
Yes, it did. Come on. The very ending. Well...
Oh, I didn't like that.
Oh, you didn't like that?
No, I didn't like... I would have absolutely loved it.
It's this guy.
I would have absolutely loved it if Michael Caine just looked up and it ended there. Like a proper Inception style ending.
No. That's too obvious, man. Like, I was...
More obvious than him looking up Batman lifting his cup?
That's not obvious. Like, especially because it's Nolan.
Hell,
you totally expected it to cut to black when Caine looked up.
Yeah.
But the fact that they gave us that closure... It was wonderful. I really, really loved it.
Yeah.
And like one of the best things about this new trilogy, and especially the fact they've cast Affleck, means that ending stands.
Yeah.
So that that whole narrative is complete.
Yeah.
So satisfying.
Yes. But I just think it would have been a little bit cooler if we just seen Michael Caine look up and at the end.
You're wrong.
Here we are.
Nicholas Adamson on Facebook says Batman should actually do some detective work and use his intellect to outsmart his enemies, which is a very nice comment. And then he ends it by saying, "No more emo bat bitch," which isn't quite as positive, but still quite funny.
It's not going to be like that, though. I think we're overthinking Batman's role in this. I think Batman is going to be very much off to the side.
Overthinking on this show?
I don't think Batman's part is going to be that beefy.
Do you not?
No, I think it's going to be
don't-
Superman, and Batman is going to be just like
In the shadows.
yeah, basically like an advisor type role, like an Obi-Wan role. That's what I think he's going to be.
I don't know if you get Ben Affleck to do that kind of part, like that smaller part.
Not small,
No.
but you know, I think he'll be like sort of guiding Clark. But I think it's going to be all Clark's movie.
See, I mean, I think that there is going to be an element of detective work to this, and I think that because obviously in the comics, both of those guys know each other's secret identities, so I think Batman's going to work it out first.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well,
I mean,
Clark is a reporter, so he's a somewhat
Yeah.
detective. I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
So
I don't know. I just think that because they're selling it so strongly, Batman versus Superman. The quote at Comic-Con was from Dark Knight Returns, so I think it's going to be a 50-50 split.
okay.
But again, we'll see.
I hope they keep it really, really grounded. Like, because that's the thing that Avengers is an amazing movie, but I couldn't care less about spacemen coming down. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? I want it to be like a grounded story, and I think
Right.
with Batman and Superman, they have an opportunity for it to be, not Ultron or anything, like in Marvel. It's going to be something really grounded and something more like along the lines of like Dark Knight.
I don't know about that. I think that whenever you've got a movie with Superman in it, the peril just has to be ridiculous. Otherwise, he'll just sort it in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I think we'll see. I do think we're going to have Luthor, hence the Luthor League.
Yeah.
But I also think we're going to have someone like Brainiac, and there's going to be some sort of, might not be aliens because obviously they did Zod last time, but some sort of robot army.
Aliens, man. I'm not an aliens guy.
Well, Brad Wolf says what he wants to see in the movie is include Soups being a naive child and Bats putting a whooping on him for being stupid. So I like that, Brad Wolf.
I
Google
think
Plus.
That's what I think it's going to be. That's from
Yeah.
Google Plus.
Yeah.
Wow.
Haha.
Wow.
And he also says, can Flash run by and wave in one scene too, just for the hell of it? We'll see what we can do.
I think that's what it's going to be like. I think Batman's going to be more of like an advisor type role, as I said.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think, maybe he'll get out of hand and Batman will have to give him a whooping.
Yeah.
Brad says.
We will see. We will see.
But this week,
yes.
our TotalFilm.com online editor Matt Risley spoke to Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman.
Yes, he
they
did.
were promoting Prisoners, which
Yep.
is a really, really good movie as well.
Yeah, really cool.
But they spoke to him about who their favorite is, Batman or Superman. So check that out.
Superman for me. And that's just
I know. Why are you doing that to people? Why? Are
no,
people
because
doing
as a
that to
kid,
people?
that Superman movie came out
Yeah, exactly.
when I was 9, and so that was it. Like Indiana Jones, in a way. I think the Batman movies are phenomenal. The Nolan, amazing. But yeah, gotta be honest. When I was a kid, I wanted to be Superman.
Really?
Didn't want the belt.
I'm just
I wanted the undies outside my tights.
I'm gonna say this right now. Once Hugh Jackman tells you who he prefers, Superman or Batman, no matter what you say after that, it doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna leave it at that, and I'm just gonna leave I'm gonna always try and do
Yeah.
it a mystery.
He's in negotiations for one of the parts. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So there we are. That's Wolverine's take on Batman vs Superman. So
Very
obviously
nice.
they were joking at the end there, but do you reckon Gyllenhaal could be up for a little part?
Well, I don't know. He was on the shortlist for Batman in Batman Begins. I think he made it to the final 5. And recently he was on The Daily Show, and Jon Stewart asked him what he thought of Ben Affleck's casting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he gave a really passionate response. He clearly loves Batman.
Yeah.
He was basically saying it would be an honour to play that character. So, I almost hope they save him for down the line, for post-Affleck, whenever that is. But I'd love to see a Gyllenhaal Batman.
That's about it for this week's Cape Expectations. But before we go, we've got this amazing Batman, Nolan's Trilogy box set to give away. It's a pretty awesome piece of kit.
Yeah, the Dark Knight Trilogy Ultimate Collector's Edition. Loads of new extras. It's really cool, basically. You're going to want it.
Yeah.
What they have to do is they have to like this video, they have to subscribe to Total Film's YouTube channel, and then share this video on Twitter or Facebook with the hashtag Cape Expectations.
Okay, cool.
So we're not asking you to do much.
Not at all.
You don't need to know anything, for example, but yeah, we'll pick a winner and you'll get that very cool prize.
Awesome. But yeah, remember to keep letting us know what you want to see in the film with the hashtag Cape Expectations, and we'll put a shout out for the next show for our next bunch of questions, and hopefully we'll hear from you soon.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.